In tutorial number 2, we covered Sun Salutation B, including Thunderbolt, Warrior 1, and we also learned Warrior 2, Reverse Warrior, Boat Pose, and the seated cross-leg lift from Boat Pose. Let's begin with just one round of Sun Salutation B. From Samastihi, take an inhale and bend your knees deeply at 90 degrees, bringing your arms up into Thunderbolt or chair pose. Breathe here. As you squat down like you're sitting in a chair, bring your hips and tail slightly back. Dip your hips low and press your heart high. Put your fingers and hands upward. Spin your pinky fingers in towards each other. Rotate your thumbs outward and gently lift your chin to look up through your hands. Take one final inhale, and as you exhale, hinge forward and come to a standing forward bend. From here, take a halfway lift and flow through your vinyasa. High to low push-up, low cobra or upward facing dog, and then downward facing dog. From here, step forward with your right foot to Warrior 1. Place your hands on either side of your mat as you lean forward and flow again through your vinyasa. High to low push-up, low cobra or upward facing dog, and back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we'll move immediately into the next foot. Step forward with your left foot, come to Warrior 1. Inhale. As you exhale, bring your hands back down to the mat and flow through your vinyasa. High to low push-up, low cobra or upward facing dog, and then back to downward facing dog. Take 5 breaths here. On your inhale, press the thighs back, bend your knees, look forward, and float or hop or walk towards your hands. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Sweep your arms up, coming to Thunderbolt or chair pose. Hold this for just a moment. Take another inhale and just stand. We're going to move through one more round of Sun Salutation B and add on Warrior 2. Coming back to your Thunderbolt pose, take a deep inhale and exhale to fold. Inhale, come to halfway lift. And exhale, place your hands on the mat, step back to high plank. Flow through your vinyasa, high to low push-up, low cobra or upward facing dog, and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot forward to Warrior 1. Square your hips and chest to the side wall as you open up to Warrior 2 pose. From Warrior 2, we're going to add on Reverse Warrior, flip the front palm, and raise that front palm all the way up, guiding your other arm down your back leg. Take one deep inhale here. As you exhale, bring that hand back down to Warrior 2 and cartwheel or helicopter your hands back down to the mat, step back to high plank, and flow through your vinyasa. High to low push-up, low cobra or upward facing dog, and back to downward facing dog. Let's repeat on the left side. Step forward with your left foot to Warrior 1, hips are squared to the front. Take one deep breath in. As you exhale, open up to Warrior 2. Hips are squared to the side and your gaze is straight forward. Palms face down and hands are parallel to the mat. On your next inhale, flip your front palm, guide your back arm behind you, front arm all the way up, Keeping your legs exactly as they are, turn your gaze up, take a slight bend. On your next inhale, take a deep breath, and exhale, bring your front arm back to Warrior 2, then helicopter or cartwheel your hands back down to the mat and flow through your vinyasa. High to low push-up, low cobra or upward facing dog, and back to downward facing dog. Hold it here for 5 more breaths. After your 5th breath, bring your knees slowly down to the floor. Lift your feet and cross at your ankles. Roll over your feet, bringing your seat back in preparation for the next pose, boat pose. From here, we'll extend our legs forward to a 45-degree angle, and remember that you can take any modification by bending your knees or placing your hands on the floor or the mat. We'll balance here for 5 breaths. After your 5th breath, bend the knees and cross your feet in front of you. Place your hands down on the mat in front and roll forward. Try to lift if you can. If not, just press your way back. Come to boat pose one more time. Holding it a little bit less time. Take 2 more breaths. And slowly come back. Rock your way forward. And come back to a seated position with your feet flat on the mat, knees up. From here, we move on to seated half pigeon. Seated half pigeon is a hip opening pose that releases the piriformis muscles, which can get very tight in athletes and those who sit in a chair all day. We store a lot of emotional tension in our hips, so at times these poses can feel pretty intense. We like to call the sensations that come up the pains of purification. The key is to remember to breathe way down deep into any tightness or resistance that you feel. Once you open your hips, your whole body begins to come into a more fluid alignment. So from the seated position after boat pose, place your hands on the floor about 8 inches behind you, palms face down, and fingers facing the back wall. Cross your right foot over the top of your left thigh. Your shin is parallel to the floor. Use your hands to walk your torso forward and press your chest towards your legs. Gaze to a spot in front of you and take 5 deep cleansing breaths. Place your right foot outside of your left knee so that it hangs in the air. Make sure that you're lengthening your spine here. And make sure also that you're moving your torso forward as a lever rather than caving into your lower back. From seated half pigeon, we move to 3-legged tabletop. 3-legged tabletop is an excellent counter pose for any hip work. So from seated half pigeon, walk your hands back 8 inches more, palms flat and fingers this time facing forward. With your legs still crossed, inhale and press down through your arms, hands, and lower foot, straightening your elbows and lifting your hips high. Drop your head so the crown of your head is facing the floor. Gaze to the back wall. If it hurts your neck to drop your head back, simply bring your chin up towards your chest. Press your palms and your lower foot down into the floor. Make sure that you're stacking your shoulders over your wrists. Move your shoulder blades towards each other. This opens your chest a little bit more. Press through your hands and foot to lift your hips higher. After 5 breaths here, bring your chin back to your chest and lower your hips down. Straighten your legs out in front of you in preparation for the next pose, staff. The staff, or Dandasana, This pose strengthens and awakens the whole body, toning the legs while releasing the spine and hips. Sit on the mat with your legs straight, strong, and active. Bring your hands alongside your hips, palms face down. Press your thighs towards the floor. Lift your chest and press your palms down into the earth. Gently tuck your sacrum and abdomen inward. If the floor is too far away for your hands to press in, you can also modify by adding blocks to either side of your body and pressing into the blocks. Alignment cues here are to press the inner edges of your feet forward. Activate your toes. Maintain strong, straight legs. Keep your spine straight and continue lifting your chest and pressing your palms down. The next pose we're moving on to is single-legged boat pose. This pose stabilizes your core and helps develop postural stature. From staff, bend your right leg and place your right foot flat on the mat. Extend the left leg, taking hold of the foot or calf with both hands. Straighten the leg upward directly in front of you. Let go of the leg and bring both arms parallel to the floor, as in regular boat pose. Alignment cues here are to lift your sacrum, lift your spine, relax your shoulders, fully engage your lifted leg, radiate through your upper foot and toes. After 5 breaths here, you can lower your leg and arms. Bend your left knee the same as the right, so the left foot is also flat on the mat in preparation for the next pose. Lifted leg pose. This pose is a deep stretch for the legs. It integrates the upper and lower body, develops core strength, teaching the abdominal lock, and develops spinal integrity and overall structural awareness. Sitting on both buttocks with your knees bent, tuck the left foot underneath the right buttock and drop the left knee to the floor. Take the right foot with both hands or behind the knee wherever you can reach and still maintain a straight spine. Holding the foot or behind the knee, lift your leg and straighten it as much as you can. Lift your chest and spine. Emphasize your abdominal lock. Relax your neck and gaze forward. Your alignment here is to continually lift your chest and spine. It's more important to have a straight spine than a straight leg, so feel free to bring your hands back down towards your knee if you need to. Keep your abdominal lock engaged and maintain a deep and rhythmic Ujjayi breath. The next pose we'll do is twisted lifting leg pose. This offers all the same benefits as the pose that we're currently in, lifted leg pose, but it adds a twisting movement that rinses out the internal organs. From lifted leg pose, bring the upper leg across the center line of your body. Release your right hand, placing it behind you, and bring your left hand to the outer edge of the right foot. Lift your chest and spine and twist over to the right, using your back arm as leverage. Relax your neck, gaze over your left shoulder. While you're holding this, think of the following alignments. On the in-breath, lift your chest and spine. On the out-breath, work the rotation of your torso like you're wringing out a wet towel. Emphasize your abdominal lock. Maintain a deep, rhythmic breath. After 5 breaths, release the lifted leg and bring your torso back to center. The next pose is easy forward bend. All forward bends invite new energy and tone the vital organs of the body. They lengthen and release tightness in the back side of the body. In particular, this pose releases the calves, hamstrings, glutes, and back, and improves blood circulation to the legs. Bring your left heel into the inside of your right thigh. Keep your right foot active and press the top of your right thigh into the floor. Exhale and reach forward to grab your foot with both hands, or you can grab your ankle or shin if that's better for you. Breathe in and lift halfway up to straight back. Then exhale and fold forward. Gaze down at your extended leg and hold for 5 breaths. Keep the foot of the extended leg active. Press the top of the extended thigh into the floor. Hinge at your hips, pull your belly in and up, and relax your face, neck, and eyes. After 5 breaths here, release the foot and come back to a seated position. The next pose is straight-legged seated twist. This is a wonderful counter pose for standing poses. It boosts blood flow to the vital body and spine, rinses the lower and middle back, liver, spleen, and kidneys, and stimulates the digestive organs. Sit with your right leg straight and your left knee bent with the foot flat on the floor. Wrap the right arm around your upright leg with the inside of your elbow against the outside of the knee. Lift your chest and extend your spine upward like a spiral staircase. Use your arm behind you as leverage to also press your torso upwards. Turn your gaze over that back shoulder. Your alignment here is to activate your thighs and feet. On the in-breath, lift, and the out-breath, twist. Relax as you rotate. After 5 breaths, we'll release the twist. From here, we'll repeat the sequence. Moving on to lifted leg pose on the left leg. For 5 breaths is how long you would typically hold it. Then we'll move on to twisting lifted leg pose. Then easy forward bend. And straight leg seated twist. And again, this time it's with the opposite leg in front. Once you're done with the straight leg seated twist on the opposite leg, extend both legs straight out in front in preparation for the next pose, seated forward bend. Seated forward bend is a wonderful cooling pose that unclutters the mind and leaves you feeling neutral, balanced, and restored. To begin, straighten your legs out in front of you so that they're together with the ankles touching. Use your hands to pull your sitting muscles out laterally so you come right in onto your sitting bones. Exhale and reach forward, hinging from the hips, and grab your feet, ankles, or legs with both hands. Inhale and lift halfway up to a flat back. Exhale and fold forward. Gaze to your legs for 10 breaths here. While you're breathing, think about the alignment. Flex your feet and press through the balls of the feet. Hinge at your hips, not at your waist. Press the tops of your thighs down towards the floor. Spin your inner thighs downward. And on the inhalation, use your hands to pull you forward. On the exhalation, draw your torso down towards your knees. Relax your shoulders, allow your neck to be neutral and free. Melt into the deep release. You can bend your knees if you need to. If you feel any strain in your low back, please do bend your knees. If you can't reach your feet, use a towel or strap around your feet as an extended handle. After your 10th exhalation, inhale and come back to a seated position. Lie down on your back in preparation for the next pose, dead bug. Many of you know dead bug pose as happy baby. Dead bug pose gives a final stretch to the hips, hamstrings, and inner thighs, and also releases the lower spine. It slows the heart rate and allows your body to begin to come into a resting state. To begin from the horizontal prone position or facing upright, inhale and bring your knees up to your chest. Hold on to the inner edges of your feet with your thumbs facing down towards your heels. Very gently, use your hands to pull your feet, knees, and quadriceps towards the floor. Roll your tailbone down towards your mat and lengthen your spine to the floor. While you breathe here, consider your alignment. Stack your ankles over your knees. Spread your thighs out to the outer edges of your torso. Pull the soles of your feet downward. Move your tailbone down towards the floor. Lengthen the line of your spine flat into the floor. Allow your belly to drop and soften. Really come into stillness here. Drop your brain, drop your mask, and just let go. Our next pose is everybody's favorite, Shavasana. This final restful pose is the gateway to the deep meditative state that leads us to the source of infinite wisdom and heart-centered awareness. From your back, lie with your legs straight and separated about 12 inches apart, or use a mat as your guide. Allow your feet to come out as wide as the mat if that is comfortable to you. Allow your feet to relax and splay out. Place your arms alongside of your body about 6 inches away from you, or as far as you need them to be fully relaxed. Make sure your palms are facing up. Squeeze your shoulder blades together towards each other. This will allow your chest to expand and your breathing to shift profoundly. Pull your head out of your neck, your arms out of your shoulders, and your legs out of your hips. Really feel the floor beneath you and your contact to it. Drop your belly, drop your brain. Release your whole body. And make any last adjustments you need to be able to be comfortable and just let go. If your low back hurts during this pose, you can bend your knees and set the soles of your feet on the floor. You can also prop your torso up with blankets or roll one up and place it underneath your knees. Stay here as long as you like. If you can, it's best to rest in Shavasana for at least 10 minutes. And though this will add to the length of your practice, it is so beneficial to let your nervous system assimilate all the good that you have done in your practice. While I would love to leave you here in Shavasana for 10 minutes, we have a little bit more to cover in this tutorial. The following sequence is done at the end of each yoga sequence throughout these 40 days. When you're ready, and with your eyes closed, roll onto your right side from Shavasana, curl up into a little ball or fetal position, and stay here for as long as feels right, and then very slowly come up to a seated, cross-legged position. Place your hands together either in a prayer position or stacked one on top of the other at your heart center. And sit here quietly for a moment of stillness. Bring your hands together in prayer position. Slowly bring them up towards your third eye center at your forehead. Breathe in and invite the light to come in. When you're ready, inhale and quickly say the Sanskrit word that acknowledges the light in you and all of those around you. Namaste.